Salut tout le monde! Alors aujourd'hui, on continue encore Baphomet. Avec ce temps magnifiquement pluvieux, autant se retrouver dans l'église Montfaucon pour continuer le jeu. Alors, ah oui, c'est vrai, la lentille.
A Knight Templar burning at the stake, and a date.
Ok, donc il y a une date. Ok, différents statuts. Ah, d'accord. On va revoir ça.
A Knight Templar burning at the stake, and a date.
C'était 1324, je crois. Alors, je crois qu'il y a un truc à faire avec les tombes.
Carrying all that armor around must have been hard work.
Pas.
I wondered if this guy had died in combat. The Templars were demonstrating a pretty good grasp of physics. If the dissolution hadn't happened, we'd have had cold fusion power last century. Well, I could have just taken the end off the staff, but I wanted to be sure what I'd be getting out of vandalizing a church, other than deported. A Knight Templar burning at the stake, and a date. A scroll was a symbol of scholarship. I knew that much. A scholarly knight. That rang a bell. A very Spanish bell. Hello again, Father. Hey, thanks.
It is my pleasure, monsieur.
What was the writing on the chalice?
It was not writing, my mistake. It was a coat of arms. The remarkable thing is that it seems very familiar.
Yeah?
Oui, I think I have seen it on that wall tomb in the far corner.
Ah bah voilà.
That winged horse is quite distinctive.
Donc far corner, bon, on va lui reparler.
How long have you worked here?
Hardly work, monsieur. This is a calling. I have been helping Father Flambert for nearly 6 months now.
I guess you don't know much about the history of this church, then.
Just a little.
You've got quite a shine on that candlestick.
Ah oui. Anything less than best would be an insult to the Almighty.
I guess so. I never thought of it like that. What do you know about the Knights Templar?
You have come to the right place, if that is your interest. Many of them were executed in the square outside. It was a disgrace to France.
Well, the Pope was right behind it, though.
Clement V was a man of mammon, not of God.
That's kind of forthright for a priest, isn't it?
You think so? It is hard to be sure what happened. It is so long ago.
Did you know that the center window conceals an image of a man burning at the stake?
The burning man?
What, you knew?
That there was a hidden image? No. But the church has a reputation for being haunted. Many times, people have claimed to have seen a burning man in the window. But when others they look, there is nothing. Perhaps the light has to be just so for the figure to appear.
Yeah, or maybe you need a special lens. You must be proud to have such an incredible collection of stained glass.
Pride is a sin, monsieur, but it is hard not to marvel when the light shines through them. It is a fine example of the artisan's genius.
Boy, what a shine you got on this!
Merci. It is all in the wrist action.
Boy, what?
Merci.
Ok,
Catch
donc
you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
on va voir les tombes. Alors, on va toutes les faire parce que du coup, c'était dans le coin au fond, mais ça peut être celle-là comme celle du fond près des vitraux.
Waiting in prayer for the judgment day. A knight's tomb, his effigy in marble lying in perpetual state.
Ouais, donc c'est pas celle-là.
No, it couldn't be. Could it? Now that my attention had been drawn to it, there was no mistake. There was no name on it, but the coat of arms was undeniably the Pegasus of the De Vasconcelos family. I'd found the last resting place of Don Carlos. My eye was drawn to the biblical references carved into the edge of the tomb. Hey, maybe these biblical references mean something. Psalms 32:7, John 4:11, Corinthians 1:4-5, and just one more, Psalms 22:21. I may not be perfect, but I've got a memory like a steel trap. The chalice had led me to these inscriptions, but it looked like a happy coincidence to me. After all, the De Vasconcelos arms were already on the manuscript. Nope, I was still convinced that the chalice had some significance all of its own. Okay, let's have another look at those references. Psalms 32:7, Corinthians. The chalice had led me to these. I was still.
Ok, mais alors du coup, je pense pas qu'il y ait d'énigme en fait ici,
Just think,
finalement.
there's a dead guy under there.
Non, non, c'était
I
peut-être
was
juste pour
surprised
observer ça.
Philip Lebel had left this place alone.
Je vais lui reparler vite fait.
Hello again, Father.
Bonjour, monsieur. How pleasant to speak to you again.
Catch you later.
Non,
Au
bah rien.
revoir, monsieur.
Rien, du coup, on va repartir de là, hein. C'est dommage, dans l'original, il y avait... En fait, on pouvait, quand on allait les bords de l'écran, il y avait une main pour pouvoir aller à gauche, à droite directement. Là, on est obligé de taper sur le sol pour pouvoir ensuite se déplacer. Ça, c'est dommage, je sais pas pourquoi ils l'ont enlevé.
I think he suspected me of being the... And the last thing I needed to...
On va retourner voir Nico, du coup.
Hi, how you doing?
Fine, George. I saw the story this morning. It won't make me Journalist of the Year, but I can afford to pay the electric bill. What have you been up to?
Listen, remember the missing Spanish Templar? I found his tomb in the church at Montfaucon.
So he's dead, then?
I wish you wouldn't be so sarcastic.
I was only joking, Georges. The Countess will be delighted.
Yeah, maybe this'll help lift the curse.
What now? Are you going to dig up his bones?
There's no need for that. Well, not yet. What I still don't understand is the significance of the chalice.
Yes, there must be something we're missing.
Look at the chalice now, Nico.
What happened? It's shiny.
The priest at Montfaucon buffed it up for me.
That's incredible.
Yeah, looks as good as new.
No. You found a use for a priest. That's incredible.
Oh non. La violence.
Let's take another look at the manuscript.
Bon là comme d'hab, je sais pas s'il y a une utilité parce qu'on a
That's
déjà
the
vu tout.
face of the statue I saw at the bull.
Non, c'est pareil. J'ai beau... Ah non, remarque.
That's the lens I found on Klausner's body in the bull's head.
Ah bah si, j'avais déjà fait ça. Ok, bon, ça sert à rien. On va aller voir...
I'll be back as soon.
Ok.
Qu'est-ce qu'on va aller... si, on peut aller voir Lobino au musée Crune. Peut-être que lui, il va pouvoir nous renseigner.
Hi, Andre.
Hello, Georgie. Where have you been? Nicole said you were away.
I just returned from Syria.
Syria? On the trail of the Templars?
It's a long story, but I found the bull's head. It was referred to on the manuscript, remember?
Yes, what is it?
A secret cave built into a high cliff face. In the cave, I discovered a map bearing a phrase in Latin. In accidenta cita est in ora mundi.
The island of Britain.
Lies at the edge of the world to the west.
Strange. That map seems to contain a series of pointers.
Like I said, it's a treasure map. What do you make of this cup, Andre?
It's a 14th century communion vessel. Spanish, probably.
You sure know your onions. While I was in Syria, I discovered a strange pagan statue. It was like a head with 3 bearded faces. Horrible.
That sounds as if it could be Baphomet, the idol described by the Templars.
The poor Knights of Christ had an idol that looked like that?
Allegedly. The description of the idol came from the evidence extracted by the Inquisition. Mind you, not one statue or idol was ever found on Templar property. Until now, that is. Just last month, a statue of Baphomet was unearthed right here in Paris.
Where?
At the Institut Hermétique de Naval. The statue is beneath the foundations. It was discovered by some workmen while renovating the building.
Can you tell me any more about the statue of Baphomet?
It's a fearful image, even now, a bearded head. The base of the statue is carved with Templar symbols. One of the workmen noticed a curious stain at the base. He claimed it looked like blood.
Blood?
That's right.
D'accord, il fait le truc de la légende et puis... Bon bah...
Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
Je crois que maintenant le site de Baphomet est débloqué. Ah bah oui, voilà. Hop. Alors là, ça va être un peu long, je crois, il me semble. Petite sauvegarde. Voilà. Comme ça, maintenant... Ah oui, alors on peut rentrer direct, mais je crois qu'il faut lui parler d'abord. Comment c'était avant? Ah ouais. Joli, joli.
The painter didn't seem to regard the painting as too important. Not as important as a cigarette break, anyway. There was a dumpster full of debris. From the excavation, I guessed.
Hey, you! Get away from my dumpster. Hey, you! Get away from my dumpster.
The painter had a pot of gunmetal gray primer hanging from the barrier.
Hey, monsieur! Get away from my paint pot!
Okay.
I should think so. Meddling with a man's paint pot. Puh.
Elle est pas très drôle, hein, je peux toucher à rien.
Hey, monsieur!
Okay.
I should...
The painter didn't seem to not as in. Excuse me, could you help me?
What is it?
I've got a few questions. I've got a sewer key.
I used to work in the sewer.
Oh? What happened?
I had a cigarette break in a pocket of methane.
Ok,
A manhole cover landed on the other side of the Seine and I was sacked.
tu m'étonnes.
I have a red nose.
Imagine. A greasy tissue. Don't get it too close to my cigarette, monsieur, or there'll be a conflagration.
Have you seen this man before?
Yes, he asked me a lot of questions, just like you.
Ah, du coup, il me suit partout, lui.
Have you seen this man before?
Yes, he...
I was pretty sure the shaken shock had shot its bolt in Syria. Has a guy calling himself Merlin been nosing around?
Was he wearing a t-shirt with "My name is Merlin" on it?
I doubt it.
Then how the hell am I supposed to know his name just by looking at him? Huh?
I have some plaster of Paris.
Amazing.
La traduction, rien à voir.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
Yes, it's a communion chalice. I know, you know, I used to be an altar boy.
You?
Yes, me. What's so funny about that?
Nothing. You're doing a fine job.
Merci. I have my professional pride.
I don't think I've ever seen a Gauloise smoke so stylishly.
It's a natural talent.
I'm being sarcastic.
I'm being indifferent.
You're very good at that as well.
Merci. Vive l'indifférence.
L'enchaînement de phrases, là, il était bizarre, mais bon.
So, what are you doing here?
I am having my break.
Yeah, I mean when you finish your break.
When I finish my break, an interesting concept, monsieur.
You'll probably need to think about it.
I could have another cigarette while I consider. Perhaps tomorrow too?
Okay, let me put things differently. What were you hired to do here?
I was hired to keep the archaeological dig in the basement of this building clear of debris, and to touch up damage to the door frames with my little pot of paint. It's a very responsible job. Unfortunately, I'm not a very responsible person.
What does the word Templar suggest to you?
Templar?
Nothing.
Nothing.
So what do you know about the excavation?
I know they won't let me in to do my job. I would complain to my union, but là...
You couldn't be bothered to join.
Right. Tell you what, though. I'm surprised at the sort of people interested in this excavation.
What's unusual about the visitors to the excavation?
None of them look like archaeologists to me.
Do you know what an archaeologist looks like?
Three-piece suits, crocodile-eyed attaché cases, Rolex oyster.
But no archaeologist dresses like that.
Quite right, monsieur, quite right.
So, who are they?
Who cares as long as they pay me?
Ok, merci
seeing you.
monsieur.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Vous m'avez beaucoup aidé.
The gate was surrounded by some pretty fancy ironwork. I couldn't climb over. There was a closed door with toilet scratched into the cheap veneer. There was a closed door with toilet.
That door is locked, monsieur.
There was a telephone on the far wall. The doorway was full of assorted old tea chests, cardboard boxes, and so on, all empty and all uninteresting. The doorway led to an old utility closet that had lost its door. There was nothing interesting in there.
Dommage, inutile mais indispensable.
A thermostat was mounted over a radiator. The radiator was pumping out heat as the thermostat was cranked right over to full. No wonder it was warm in here, even with the door open to the chill of fall. I couldn't imagine what I'd achieved by turning the dial. That guard had been put here to guard something. My guess was that the excavation was behind that door. I didn't think that the guard would just let me waltz past. Besides, I had a hunch that door was locked.
Ok, bon, on va lui
A
parler.
guard stood by a door I guessed led to the excavation. He looked pretty pompous. Well, not so much pretty, just pompous. Hi? Excuse me?
Oui?
This gadget is a sewer key.
So it is.
I've got a red nose.
Oh,
Look, a tissue stained with grease paint.
ah, just what I've always wanted. If you give me that, you can enter through the door.
Really?
Of course not. What would I want with an old tissue?
Et en plus, il fait des blagues.
Have you seen this man before?
Oh,
You have.
non.
I was gonna have to get rid of this thing. It was dead. Do you recognize this name?
Merlin. Non.
I got this plaster from Ireland.
Not an exciting souvenir.
I thought better of showing him the chalice. He might be on the conspiracy's payroll, and I didn't want to risk it.
Oui? You have...
A sudden urge to sing. Care to join me?
No, no singing in here.
Comment il récupère le sujet. Comment il se rattrape, je veux dire. Bon, on va terminer
So,
ça.
what
Après, je pense
exactly are you doing
qu'on
here?
pourra débloquer
I'm guarding.
quelque chose.
You expect to find me shearing sheep?
Take it easy. I just didn't realize you were a guard. I'd like to know what you're guarding, please.
That's a secret.
It wouldn't happen to be an archaeological site, would it?
Are you asking me or telling me?
I'm telling you.
Then why ask?
I had a feeling this was no normal hole in the ground. It sure is hot in here.
I have to have the door open to allow the workmen access, so why not? I turn the heat up.
You could wrap up warm.
I have my gloves if it gets cold, but why bother when it's warm anyway?
Trying to get into a locked washroom. I had the strongest feeling of déjà vu. I'd like to use the washroom, but the door's locked.
Oh, that's no problem. You can have the key.
Thanks. What do you know about the Knights Templar? There was a long pause during which the guard said nothing. Then he said,
Nothing.
nothing at all?
Is this a test?
What, like a history pop test?
No, like a test.
Okay, yes, it's a test.
Then I know absolutely nothing about the Templars.
Il est pas du tout suspect, lui.
The guard was being amazingly evasive. It was going to take more than goodwill to get past him. Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
On the keyring was a big old key that looked like it might fit the excavation door.
Bon alors, qu'est-ce qu'on va trouver dans ces toilettes? Il y a forcément un truc à faire.
A filthy wash basin hung on the wall.
Ah, il y a du savon. Il y a du savon.
I didn't want to use that unless I really had to. Oh boy! Dirty soap! How do they do that? The taps were rusty. Oh boy! The cold taps washer looked to have failed. It was just dribbling down the sink. A hand dryer was mounted on the wall. If the Club Alamat had used one of these instead of a roller towel, I'd probably still be stuck in Marib. A bin stood in the corner. It didn't look like it had been emptied for a while. I wasn't that interested in what might go into a restroom's garbage to investigate.
C'est dommage, on peut trouver plein de trucs
I didn't
incroyables
need to
dans
get near
une
to tell the
poubelle.
toilet needed cleaning. Being in a charming comfort station like this made me think fondly of the toilet in Syria. That place was kept in pretty good order. At least, it had been until I vandalized it. Still, it was all for a good cause. There was a big old boiler used for heating the building. The thing felt really hot. Big demands seemed to be being made on it. The shovel used to feed the furnace was stuck into the pile of coal. Capacious as my pockets were, I didn't figure I could cram a shovel in them.
Ah mais c'est incroyable la différence de luminosité quoi. Là les toiles, ah bah ils les ont enlevées en fait. Ah oui, ils les ont enlevées. Non j'allais dire on les voit même pas tellement c'est sombre, mais non elles y sont même pas. Ils ont mis des toiles là, ah ouais c'est ça. Ils ont rajouté des toiles qui étaient pas. Mais ouais, elle est complètement refaite hein, l'image. C'est un peu sombre, mais bon bref. J'avais pas vu qu'il y avait ça là, bouche d'aération.
There was a ventilation grill up in the wall. I could have climbed onto the sink, prized the ventilator cover loose, wedged myself into the tiny hole, smashed the far cover out, and plunged headfirst into the next room. Or I could just go through the door like a sane person.
Oui voilà. Alors bah c'est l'heure de vérité. On va prendre une empreinte de la clé parce qu'on en a besoin.
I made an impression of the big key in the cake of soap.
Voilà. Donc maintenant on a
The
la clé
bar
dans le
of
savon.
soap had the imprint of a key in it.
Et devinez quoi? On va encore utiliser le plâtre.
I carefully sprinkled the plaster into the soap mold I'd made of the key.
Alors maintenant qu'on a le savon avec le plâtre, on va le mettre sous l'eau, je pense. Non.
I had filled the key's imprint in the soap with dry plaster.
Ouais. Voilà, on mouille un peu. Et maintenant on sèche. Et on va avoir un modèle de clé en plâtre, le truc qui va se casser théoriquement, mais bon, c'est pas grave. Donc
Well,
maintenant,
it had taken a while, but I had made myself a completely unconvincing plaster key.
oui,
Way
voilà
too
exactement.
fragile to use in a lock. I'd have to substitute it for the real one. Trouble was, it looked like plaster and not metal. Then again, that plaster statue in Syria hadn't looked like stone until I'd been a bit artful with it. Maybe I could improve the key as well.
Ouais, mais comment? Parce que j'ai... Ah bah ça? Non.
Maybe not.
Ah, il y avait la peinture, l'autre dehors, là, celui qui fout rien, qui fait sa pause déjeuner, là. Enfin, sa pause cigarette, pardon. Il y avait un pot de peinture, je crois.
Hey, monsieur, don't go with my keys.
Ah oui, c'est vrai. Oh. Euh, Bon, bah je lui redonne.
What is it?
Here's the keys. Thanks.
Merci, monsieur.
Allez, on va voir le pot de peinture, là. Mais de toute façon, il va nous en empêcher, hein, lui. Attends, il est où son pot de peinture? Voilà.
Hey, monsieur, get away from my paint pot.
Okay.
I should think so.
Bon. Je vais reparler au gardien.
Hi again.
What is it?
I need to use the toilet again.
Again? Already?
I have this problem. How technical do you want me to get?
Oh, never mind. Here's the key.
Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Ouais, je sais pas si c'est utile en fait de récupérer les clés, mais bon, bref. Je vais appeler Nico. Parce que je crois que...
Do you mind if I use the phone?
Be my guest. I'm paid to guard this door. The phone can look after itself.
Cool.
Killer!
Hi, Nico. It's me.
Keller.
I'm at the excavation site.
Hi, Georges. What's happening?
I'm at the excavation, but they won't let me in.
Damn! We need to know what's in there.
Don't worry. I've got a scheme. I'm going to need your help, though.
Okay, what do you want me to do?
I want you to keep somebody on the phone for a while.
Who?
A painter. I need to get at his pot.
Oh, okay.
Stay on the line. I'll go and get him.
J'aime bien parce qu'en fait, il appelle juste à côté du gardien pour dire... pour demander à Nico de distraire l'autre. Enfin, il raconte toute sa vie juste à côté, quoi. Mais bon, bref. Ah oui, alors, je vais pas pouvoir... Je vais être obligé de lui rendre la clé, là.
What is it?
Here's the keys. Thanks.
Merci, monsieur.
Ah oui, ça y est, je sais. Je sais. On va lui parler. Et comme ça, on va pouvoir tremper la
Hi,
clé.
it's me again.
What now?
You've got a phone call.
For me? Are you certain?
It's a woman. She sounded hot.
What woman? She must be mistaken, monsieur.
Well, she asked for that hunk of a man with the nicotine fingers and his ass hanging out of his pants.
Certainly sounds like me. Stand back. It wouldn't do to keep the lady from her hunk.
Et voilà. Ok, donc maintenant... Ouais.
Well, monsieur, what a strange woman. She was all over me, and then suddenly, nothing but abuse.
Really?
What? Abuse? Ah well, I have a cigarette to finish. And monsieur, if she calls again, I am not available.
Waouh, je sais pas ce qu'elle lui a dit, mais abusé. Bon, alors, on va lui redemander la clé, et puis on va switcher les clés dans
Hi
les
again.
toilettes.
What is it?
I need to use the toilet again.
Again?
I have this. Talk to you later.
Au revoir.
Alors, comment on fait? On combine, c'est ça? Ouais.
Quickly and without fuss, I swapped the fake key for the real thing.
Ok, donc là, il y a... Bah, il y a plus rien, je pense, hein. C'est juste, faut rendre la clé, quoi.
Hi again.
What is it?
After the amount of trouble I'd been through to get that key, I wasn't about to share with the guard how clever I'd been.
Ah. Euh...
Now, I'd
Ah
substituted the
oui.
fake key for the excavation key. It looked okay, but felt false.
Ouais, donc techniquement...
What is it?
I couldn't give him the keys. The false key looked pretty convincing, but it felt exactly like what it was. Painted
Bah,
plaster. He was bound to detect it.
ok, mais alors je fais quoi?
A thermostat was mounted over a radiator. The radiator was pumping out heat as the thermostat was cranked right over to full. No wonder it was warm in here. Even I turned the heating off. Hi again.
What is it?
It sure is hot in here.
I have to have the door open to allow the workmen access, so why not? I turn the heat up.
You could wrap up warm.
I have my gloves if it gets cold, but why bother when it's warm anyway?
Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Euh, Ah, mais du coup, attends.
What is it?
I held my breath and hoped that he
Ouais.
wouldn't notice the substitution. Here's the keys. Thanks.
Merci, monsieur.
En fait, il a mis ses gants. J'ai baissé le thermostat et du coup, il a mis ses gants et donc j'ai pu lui donner les clés sans qu'il repère trop vraiment au toucher la fausse clé. Donc, ok, donc c'est bon. Du coup, j'ai la bonne clé. Et il faut que je me débarrasse de lui, en fait.
Hi again.
What is it?
Sauf que...
Talk to you later.
Au revoir,
Je vais
monsieur.
rappeler Nico. Parce qu'à mon avis, c'est ça.
Hi, Nico. It's me again.
I'd guessed. What do you want this time?
What did you say to the painter?
I shan't repeat it, Josh.
Look, I need to get the guard out of the way. Could you call back and ask him to get the painter again?
Okay, I'll call back soon.
This looked like a good place to watch things develop.
Mais
Hey,
j'en profite,
you! It's the phone.
Yeah?
j'en profite pas pour ouvrir la porte.
Who is it?
How should I know? What am I, your social secretary?
It's not a chick, is it?
Yes, it's a woman. Are you going to answer it?
Does she have a warm, sensual voice like molten chocolate?
Yes, yes, she has a really sexy voice. Now get a move on.
I'm not talking to her.
I can see that. You're wasting time talking to me.
No, you don't understand. I refuse to talk to her.
You refuse. You refuse. I'm wasting valuable time.
Don't make me laugh. Your time valuable? You just stand around all day.
I have a highly responsible job. Ha! Don't me, you elephantine oaf. My job is important.
Impossible. They would have hired somebody competent in that case.
Meaning what?
Instead of which they hired a dismal rent-a-cop like you. All epaulettes and no brains.
Why, you...
This looked set to carry on for some time. It was too good an opportunity to miss.
Ah, c'est bon. Parce que ça me paraissait bizarre quand même. Hop. Ah oui, je suis con. Avec la clé, c'est mieux. Ouah, pareil, c'est un truc de fou là. Et puis la lampe est allumée là. Ils ont éclairé. C'est dommage, tout est sombre là. Il n'y a qu'une source de lumière, mais bon. Bref. Donc de toute façon, il faut que je descende. Ah,
Some planks used to make the catwalk were leaning against the wall. I couldn't see anything useful to do with the planks. Oh, great. More dead people. Although the gendarmes weren't likely to pull in any suspects unless they had a time machine. This guy must have been here for centuries. No, thanks. I think I'm carrying enough junk.
t'es sûr?
Now there's a familiar face. There was no doubt about it. It was the same sort of idol I'd seen in Syria, Baphomet. The Templars had certainly been through here. In the middle of the floor was a weird mosaic, all swirling and distorted. Close up, the pattern didn't make any sort of sense. It fanned out around an axis point, a kind of focus to one side.
Moi, je pense pas qu'on le mette là, c'est par terre. Ouais, voilà. Ok.
And there it was, decoded by the curves of the chalice, the image of a church. I'd found out what the chalice was for.
You've solved the puzzle?
Yeah, there was a distorted picture at the Baphomet site. When I viewed it in the polished surface of the chalice, it changed.
What did it show?
A picture of a church with a square tower. Let's take another look at the manuscript. That's the face of the statue I saw at the bull's head.
Ouais, bon, on prend toujours.
That's the clue that led me to the statue of Baphomet and the reflection in the chalice.
Bon, ça c'est nouveau.
That's the clue that led me.
Ouais, bon, d'accord.
That's the clue that.
Ok.
That's the gem that Pegram.
Ok, bon, allez, hein.
I guess I'd better return the chalice to the Countess.
Hurry back, Josh.
Succès, décoder l'image d'une ancienne statue des Templiers, pardon. Allez, bah du coup en Espagne, hein. Hop.
I'd been planning to return the chalice anyway, but I hadn't expected the trail to bring me here. The Villa de Vasconcelos was as picturesque as ever. The weather was still clear, and Lopez was still watering the damn lawn. I was beginning to suspect that he was surgically attached to that hose. Hi there, Lopez. How's tricks?
Senor Stobart, how pleasant to see you. You are well.
Fine, thanks. Is the Countess in?
She is waiting for you. I will show you up.
It's okay, I know the way.
Senor Stobart, I feel I owe you an apology.
No, you don't.
I was impolite on our first meeting.
Look, Lopez, just forget about it. I came on like a snake oil merchant. I wouldn't have trusted me in your shoes.
You do not understand. Finding the chalice has given my lady a new lease of life. It's a marvel. She smiles, she laughs. The tradesmen are saying that she is on Prozac.
Hi, Lopez. Got a minute?
Certainly, senor. How can I help you?
So the Countess feels that the curse is lifted.
I would not put it so strongly. Your discovery of the chalice was proof that the Templars never abandoned the de Vasconcelos. It counts for a great deal with my lady.
I've had the chalice polished.
Oh, it is magnificent.
What's the story behind the chalice vanishing?
When the Inquisition raided, in the absence of Don Carlos, it was believed that they had taken it. Naturally, they denied the charge, as they denied taking the children. And naturally, nobody believed them.
But they were telling the truth. The chalice was hidden from them. You don't suppose they were telling the truth about the children as well, do you?
Madre de Dios! I had not thought of that. But then what happened to them?
I don't know. If the Inquisition didn't take them, then who did?
You must speak to my lady of these.
Count on it. Catch you later, Lopez.
Adios, Senor Stobart.
Est-ce qu'on peut visiter du coup? Parce que j'avais rien vu de... Ah non, bon d'accord. J'avais pas vu grand chose de de ce lieu. Ah carrément. Je peux le
It was
détruire.
just a little utility room with no exit, unless you counted the window, and I didn't.
Bon, bah, bon.
There was a big aspidistra sitting on a table in the hall. I didn't want a pot plant.
Senor Stobart, oh, what a pleasure. Please, sit down.
Hi, Countess. The pleasure's all mine. I've brought back your chalice.
Why? You've had it cleaned.
Yeah, I met an obliging priest with a soft cloth.
Have you resolved the Templar mystery?
No, not yet. I don't even know what it is I'm after.
There are many stories of the knight secreting great wealth away.
Whatever. All I know is I don't want the bad guys to get it.
Ah, to be young and live in a world of moral absolutes.
Does this mean anything to you?
Nothing at all.
I discovered something amazing with that chalice. In Paris, I found a church where they recognized the coat of arms. I found the tomb of Don Carlos de Vasconcelos.
You are sure? There can be no mistake?
The coat of arms on the chalice matches the one on the tomb.
Incredible. You have my most profound thanks. I must go there as soon as possible.
Yeah? Well, I'd be happy to show you the city. There's something else that I discovered carved on Don Carlos's tomb. Biblical references.
What are the references, Senor Stobart?
Psalms 32:7, Corinthians.
I am not a good enough scholar to know the Bible chapter and verse. I meant, what are the quotations?
You know, I forgot to ask the priest. There's still the mystery of that missing chess piece.
I do not think that it will ever be discovered unless the fate of the children is revealed.
The Inquisition were suspected of taking the chalice and the kids, right? We know now they were innocent of the first crime. What if
They did not take the children either. Then what happened to them?
the Inquisition admitted to killing Don Carlos's manservant? Now, this guy had been told to protect the kids at all costs, right?
That is correct.
I think he hid them and the chalice when he got wind that the Inquisition was coming. With him dead, and Don Carlos driven mad with grief, there was nobody left who knew the secret. You know what this means, don't you?
I fear so. The children are still here somewhere. If this is so, then it is small wonder that the de Vasconcelos are cursed.
I'll have a look around if that's okay.
My home is your home. I shall remain here.
Alors du coup, est-ce qu'il y avait des choses à voir ici?
It was a large window with shutters. From the window, I could see some sort of balcony. It didn't look like it was used too often. It was a large window with shutters. From the window, I could see the garden, including Lopez, who was still watering the damn thing. Beside the fire was a stack of logs for fuel. Now, what would I want with a bunch of logs? Military hardware, medieval style. I came here to solve a mystery, not go jousting. There was a boar's head over the fire. It didn't look very happy. Must be hard to look happy when you're wearing a chimney breast. Now, what the hell was I going to do with a hog's head? The fire was made up and ready, waiting for the year to turn cold. It was way too warm to light the fire. There was a bookcase, bureau kind of affair. I didn't recognize any of the titles, apart from an ancient edition of Don Quixote. I didn't recognize... An old grandfather clock stood against the wall. I doubted the Templars had hidden anything in there.
Bon, bah, on va aller au mausolée, parce qu'à mon avis, c'est là qu'il faut aller.
George Stobart, grave robber. No, I don't think so. Hanging from the ceiling was a... It looked really old and had never been lit. I couldn't reach up there. It was a rod with a cone and a hook on the end. I guessed it was for snuffing out the big candle in the chandelier. A big statuette of the Virgin Mary kept an eye on the place. It was too delicate to move. It was the Spanish Bible I borrowed from the mausoleum. The mirror from Lopez's utility room. Yep, I was still looking great.
Alors, c'est... Je sais plus s'il faut faire quelque chose avec... Je crois que c'est plus tard. Attends, on va essayer. Ah si, on peut fermer. Mais ça sert à rien en fait. Peut-être plus tard.
Hello again. Mind if I sit?
Please, be my guest.
Here's the Bible from the mausoleum.
Very well. Let us begin. The first reference.
Psalms 32:7.
Thou art my hiding place. Thou shalt preserve me from trouble. Thou shalt compass me about with songs of deliverance. My hiding place.
Don't get your hopes up too high. This might just be leading us to where we found the chalice.
You are right, of course. The next.
Okay, John 4:11.
John 4:11. Here. The well is deep. The next. Quickly.
Okay, okay. Corinthians 4:5.
Here it is. Will bring to light the hidden things. Any more?
Just one. Psalms again. 22:21.
Save me from the lion's mouth, for thou hast heard me from the horns of the unicorns. The last is confusing. Lions, unicorns, what's it mean?
I can't guess.
Salient points seem to be a hiding place and a deep well. In no sense is their mausoleum a well, Senor Stobart.
Is there a well in the grounds?
I do not know. I suppose that there must have been once upon a time. Lopez is the man to ask about anything pertaining to the estate.
Eh ben, on va demander à Lopez.
Do you know what this is?
No?
Non, non, non. Voilà.
I'll just have another look around.
Very well.
Allez. Lopez, nous voilà.
Hi, Lopez. Got a minute?
Certainly, senor. How can I help you?
You must know just about everything that there is to know about this place.
See, I have lived my whole life here in the service of the Vasconcelos.
Do you know of a well anywhere around here?
A well? Si, senor. This used to be a fortified villa. How can you last a siege without water?
Great! So where is it?
How should I know? The well was covered over in the last century. It was dangerous, you see.
And you have no idea where it was?
None. It was hidden even before my grandfather's time.
You must have a vague idea of where the well is.
It must have been in the old house's courtyard, so that would put it around here.
Here? Okay. Now, how do we find it?
There might be a way. Let me think about it.
Any ideas yet?
Not as yet, Senor Stobart. I shall give it more thought.
Any ideas yet?
Not as yet.
Ah, ok, c'est en boucle, donc il faut que je fasse
Catch
quelque
you
chose
later,
d'autre en
Lopez.
attendant.
Adios, Senor Stobart.
Alors, qu'est-ce qu'il peut dire par l'autre maison? C'est le mausolée? Ou c'est un autre bout là-bas? Là, il y a un... Ouais, mais il n'y a rien à faire ici en fait. Mis à part le tuyau.
I didn't like the idea of carrying 30 yards of hose around me, so I left it alone.
Non, bah du coup je pense qu'il faut que j'aille au mausolée, hein. Bah c'est là, ça doit être là le... Enfin, je vais lui reparler là juste avant, parce qu'on sait jamais, peut-être qu'il faut juste attendre un petit peu.
Hi, Lopez. Got a minute?
Certainly, senor. How can I help you?
Any ideas yet?
Not as yet.
Non, 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 bon, ok.
Catch you later, Lopez.
Ah, je lui ai pas parlé
Ah.
de... Non, 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 attends, je lui ai pas parlé
Hi, Lopez.
du miroir.
Certainly.
Peut-être que...
I borrowed your mirror. I hope you don't mind.
No, senor. If you think it will be of help.
Non, bon, ok.
Catch you later, Lopez.
Adios.
On va aller au mausolée. Ah, ça a débloqué quelque chose là, je le vois.
Down below the estate, I could see the sea stretching away. It was a beautiful sight, and looked a lot like the scene from the manuscript. I wanted to go swimming, but I didn't have the time.
Euh, Et donc, je sais pas.
Now that it had given up its secret, the glass squares in the lectern were just decorative again.
Bon, ça marche pas. Moi, je pensais qu'on pouvait mettre quelque chose sur la bougie. Je vais rouvrir la fenêtre. Et peut-être que là... Non. Alors là, je sais pas.
I couldn't climb up there without breaking something.
Est-ce que j'ai un objet qui... Non. Le buzzer, ça m'étonnerait. Non. La clé des égouts. Non, il n'y a rien qui marche. Je sais même pas si c'est ça qu'il faut faire d'ailleurs, mais bon. Ah! Ah, il fallait le trouver le truc, hein. Et après, je fais quoi? Je ferme la fenêtre?
No, that was a silly idea. I decided to think things through.
Hein? Ah non, non, attends, qu'est-ce que j'ai fait? Ah non, attends, qu'est-ce que c'est que ce délire? Ouais, voilà. Donc, je place ça. Et ensuite, j'essaye directement la bougie, c'est ça?
No, that was a silly idea.
Mince,
I decided to think things through.
je comprends pas. Alors, je ferme la fenêtre. Ah, faut peut-être mettre... Ah, zut. Voilà. Non, parce que visiblement, on pouvait le mettre dessus, donc il y a un truc à faire avec, mais je sais pas quoi.
No, that was a silly idea.
Ah. Ah, donc la bougie. Ah oui, comme j'ai fermé la fenêtre, il n'y a plus de vent, c'est ça? Ouais, je vais essayer directement sur la bougie.
No, that was a silly...
Ah, bon, bah je sais pas. Euh, Il y a un truc à faire avec, mais je sais pas quoi.
No, that was a silly idea. I decided to think things through. No, that was a silly... No, that was a silly idea. I decided to...
Bah je sais pas. Il Il y a un truc à faire avec ça, mais je comprends pas. Pierre, cette histoire de fenêtre ouverte, fenêtre
I
fermée.
couldn't climb up.
Je sais même pas si c'est. S'il faut la laisser fermée ou ouverte. Non, ça, direct, il l'enlève. Ah,
No, that was a. No, that was a silly.
bah, je vais regarder une soluce, hein, parce que franchement, là, je. Pourquoi on pourrait mettre un mouchoir là-dessus alors que. Enfin, sur les bougies là, peut-être, mais je peux pas y toucher. Ah, si. Ah, si. D'accord. Du coup, j'allume ça. Mais oui, je suis trop bête. J'avais pas vu l'interaction avec les petites bougies. Autant pour moi. Ouais, on attend longtemps là. Parce que le temps que ça fonde comme ça, purée. Ah, il y a un objet.
The candle had burnt brilliantly, but only for a couple of minutes. Some kind of special formulation, I guess. And had yielded up this. A complex shape expertly cut in stone. I figured it was some kind of key.
Succès, trouver un artefact caché dans une vieille bougie.
It was a smooth, intricately carved piece of stone that had been concealed inside the great candle.
Bah, je vais revoir la comtesse, j'imagine.
Hi, Lopez. Got a minute?
Certainly, senor. How can I help you?
Do you know what this is?
No, senor. Is it some kind of key?
Yeah, I think it probably is.
Where did you get it?
It was hidden inside the big candle in the mausoleum.
And you burnt it? I wondered what the light was I saw through the window. My lady will be furious. The candle was centuries old.
Ah. Any ideas yet?
We are looking for a source of water, see?
Yes.
For generations, the Spanish country folk have had a secret way of locating water, even if it is meters beneath the ground.
Ah, you're not talking about water dousing, are you?
Eh?
You know, you get a stick and walk around until the stick twitches and dig there.
Oh, you've heard of it.
Yeah, I think most of the planet has. Okay, let's get a stick.
Uno momento. It must be a special stick, a Y of hazel.
Right. Do you have any hazel trees?
See, here. That is hazel.
Catch you later, Lopez.
Adios, Senor Stobar.
Mais du coup, il a désigné quoi comme... Ah, noisetier, d'accord.
So that was what a hazel tree looks like. I went over to find a suitable stick. I don't believe it. There wasn't a single usable Y-shaped branch on the whole damn thing. I went over to find a suitable stick. I don't... There wasn't a single...
Ok, donc il n'y a rien. Bon, je vais aller... bah non, 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 je vais lui reparler, tiens.
Hi, Lopez. Got a minute?
Certainly,
I can't find any usable branches on that hazel tree.
no. Que lata.
How am I supposed to find the well without a divining rod?
I have no idea, senor.
Oh, never mind.
Ouais, donc c'est...
Catch you later, Lopez.
Adios.
C'est tant pis pour moi, quoi. Bon, on va aller voir la comtesse. Peut-être que ça va débloquer la situation. J'espère.
Hello again. Mind if I sit?
Please, be my guest.
What do you make of this?
It looks like some sort of key. Where did you get it from?
It was buried inside the great candle in the mausoleum.
Inside it. What have you done to it?
I, lit it.
But it is irreplaceable.
Listen, the candle was to be lit in case of Moorish attack, right? Well, it burnt down in no time and revealed this key thing. Maybe that was the real purpose of lighting the candle.
What are you suggesting?
That lighting the candle was the equivalent of break glass in case of emergency.
Sentiment must not stand in the way of solving this mystery. You did the right thing.
What do you make of this?
It is the stone key.
I'll have a look around if...
My
Ok,
home.
donc on va reparler au jardinier, peut-être.
Hi, Lopez. Got a minute?
Certainly, senor. How can I help you?
Non, il n'y a rien.
Catch you later, Lopez.
Donc ça veut dire qu'il faut que je trouve un autre arbre, c'est ça? Peut-être. Ça doit être... Non, il n'y a rien par là. Et et à gauche, tout à gauche, là où il y a son tuyau. Et là. Ah, arrête de bouger, Villa. Non, c'est pas ça. Ça. Ah!
It looked a lot like a
Ah,
hazel
bah
tree.
voilà.
I went over to find a suitable stick. Aha!
Donc c'est bon, j'ai ma branche. Ah bah voilà.
It was a thin, supple twig of hazel.
Parfait. Allez, vas-y, on va retourner voir le jardinier. Que d'aller-retour. Pour la bonne cause, mais quand même. Allez. Puis après, je m'arrêterai là.
Hi, Lopez. Got a minute?
Certainly, senor. How can I help you?
Well, I got my divining rod. Now what?
Simplicity itself, senor. Hold the wand at the upper ends of the Y. Apply a little tension with your wrists so that the slightest movement of the wand's tip is clear, and walk slowly and steadily over the area.
Sounds easy enough. We'll find this well in no time.
J'adore, je fais mon petit tour dans tout le jardin. Avec mon petit bâton. C'est tout mignon. Par contre, je tourne un peu en rond, hein. Qu'est-ce qu'il fait? Il lance des flèches? Des grosses fléchettes, on dirait.
Senior Stobart, you've found something.
This is it. This is where we find the secret of the Templars. Hidden here for hundreds of years. Lost from the sight of man until now. The mystery is revealed.
It's a tin can.
I've been walking up and down with a twig in my hands, looking for a tin can.
It had
Oh.
water in it. That's what the dowsing stick must have detected.
I'd have to check with an archaeologist, but I don't think the Templars left that.
In truth, Senor Stobart, the loan was laid many, many years ago. This can could date back to the Napoleonic Wars.
Get rid of it and I'll try it again. Lopez threw the can away. It seemed to fall an awfully long way.
Oh, on a trouvé le puits! Grâce à une boîte de conserve.
The splash at the end confirmed what we both suspected. Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle.
It has been here all the time. All those years and nobody found it.
Stood in awe for a moment, marveling at the secrets all around us.
I could have fallen down that.
The well had been lost for decades at least. The air was cool after the noon sun, but that's not what gave me goosebumps. I have a really, really bad feeling about this.
La petite référence à Harrison Ford dans Indiana Jones. Bon, bah, je m'arrête là. Parce que je pense qu'il y a encore un petit peu à faire. Tête de lion, tout ça, ouais, ouais, bon. Donc, petite sauvegarde. Ça va, là, on aura bien avancé quand même, hein, mine de rien. Parce que partie de la... C'était là? Ouais, c'est ça. 8h09, 9h21. Ouais, bah ça avance petit à petit. Bon, bah du coup, je streamerai peut-être demain, mais un peu plus tard. Vers 8h. 8h, 8h30, quelque chose comme ça, du soir, pour une petite heure, pour avancer encore un peu. Je suis plus très loin de la fin du jeu là, je crois, il me reste pas grand chose. Je sais qu'il y a des cosses après, et puis c'est à peu près tout, hein. Mais bon, il reste encore un petit peu. Donc, je souhaite une bonne soirée, et probablement à demain. Salut!